Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into a really charged topic,
Yeah.
self-defense laws in Trinidad and Tobago. You hear about it constantly, especially with, well, the crime situation. Police reports are showing over 500 home invasions a year. And that fear, it's real. It's pushing politicians towards talk of things like stand your ground laws.
Exactly. And our goal here really is to kind of cut through some of that noise. Stand your ground isn't even like a term in T&T law. So we need to figure out, is this new proposed law a massive change, or is it more about clarifying what the common law already permitted?
Okay, so let's start there. The existing law, it's been around for ages, hasn't it? Based on common law. It all comes down to this idea of reasonable force, which sounds simple, but it has two parts, right?
Two key questions, really. First, did you genuinely believe you were in immediate danger, your honest perception?
Okay, your perception.
And second, was the amount of force you used actually necessary and proportional, given those circumstances as you saw them? Like, would a reasonable person agree?
Right, proportionality. And here's the thing that I think trips a lot of people up, based on maybe what they see elsewhere or just assume.
Yeah.
Under T&T's common law right now, there isn't actually a hard and fast rule that says you must retreat. You don't legally have to run away first in every single case.
Precisely. That's often misunderstood. Retreating or not retreating is just one factor a court might look at when deciding if your actions were reasonable overall.
So it's part of the picture, not a requirement.
Exactly. And the common law is actually quite dynamic on this. It even allows for using force preemptively. You know, the courts have said for a long time you don't have to wait for someone to actually hit you or shoot at you. If an attack seems imminent, you can potentially strike first in self-defense.
Okay, so if the common law already allows standing your ground in your home and even preemptive action, why all the political heat? Why this new home invasion bill, 2025? We've heard some pretty intense rhetoric, haven't we? Meet fire with fire, and that very controversial empty the whole clip line from a former PM.
That rhetoric really tapped into public frustration and, frankly, fear. People felt the existing law wasn't clear enough or wasn't being applied in a way that made them feel safe. So this bill, you could argue, is partly a political response, a psychological one even. It's trying to bridge that gap between the legal reality and what people feel the law should be.
Okay, so what does the bill actually propose? Well, it creates a specific crime, home invasion. And the penalty is serious, looking at a $500,000 TT fine, potentially 20 years in prison. And crucially, it writes it down explicitly, a statutory right to self-defense in your home during an invasion. And it states clearly, no duty to retreat.
Right. It puts it in black and white, which the common law, being unwritten, didn't do in the same way. But, and this is really important, that core principle of reasonableness and proportionality, that doesn't go away. That's still the filter.
So it clarifies the right to stay put in your home, but it's not like a blank check. You can't just use excessive force.
Absolutely not. The court will still ask, was the force used reasonable in those specific circumstances? So it offers clarity, maybe peace of mind for some, but it doesn't remove the need for judgment and proportionality. It's not immunity.
Okay. So wrapping this part up, it seems the new law is mostly about codifying, making explicit rights that largely already existed under common law, perhaps to boost public confidence rather than a fundamental legal shift.
Largely, yes. But it does lead to a final, maybe more critical point, doesn't it? Beyond the letter of the law. Empowering citizens on paper is one thing, but some worry, that without proper public education, maybe better training, could it backfire? Could a panicked homeowner mistake someone innocent, even police, for an intruder? It raises the question, is tweaking the law enough? Or does real safety actually come from fixing the bigger issues needing perhaps, smarter policing, more community support, a justice system that works faster? Is that the real answer rather than just focusing on self-defense laws? Something to think about.